Most babies are not made to feel unsafe by one terrible moment. It happens more quietly than that, when the person they reach for starts feeling harder to rest inside. If you want parenting insight that helps you read what babies mean before they have words, subscribe to Baby Cues Decoded. Babies do not need to understand words to feel when a relationship becomes harder to trust. Responsive, attentive interactions with a caring adult help shape brain architecture, while warm responses, eye contact, touch, and reassurance help babies feel secure. And to be clear, this video is not saying one tired evening ruins attachment. Unsafe here means emotionally less secure, less settled, less able to relax in the relationship. And that kind of feeling is usually built or softened through repetition. Harvard's Center on the Developing Child says repeated responsive interactions shape brain architecture, while 0 to 3 emphasizes that responsive caregiving helps build strong emotional bonds from birth. What babies carry forward is not always a story. Often, it is a body-level expectation of how love will feel. Thing 1. When your stress meets their distress. Sometimes the first thing a baby feels in a hard moment is not your comfort. It is your state. That is what makes this so powerful and so easy to miss. Your baby starts crying. You move faster. Your jaw tightens. Your voice gets sharper without you meaning it to. Your hands become more urgent. You are trying to help, but your own nervous system is now part of the moment. And babies feel that before they can make sense of it. 0 to 3 describes co-regulation as what you do with a baby or toddler to help them feel safe, calm, and understood, because self-regulation is still developing in the early years. That means a baby is not only receiving the bottle, the rocking, the pickup, or the soothing words. They are also receiving the emotional state of the person delivering them. Harvard's Serve and Return framework supports the same larger point. Responsive interactions do not just solve a moment. They shape emotional well-being and development over time. UNICEF likewise emphasizes that calm, loving responses help children feel at ease. This does not mean you must be perfectly calm every time. No parent is. It means that when your baby is overwhelmed, lowering your voice, moving slower, softening your face, and letting your hands calm down before they touch them can change the entire emotional meaning of the moment. Because many babies borrow calm before they can build it for themselves. Thing 2. When care gets done, but warmth goes missing. Babies do not only feel whether care happened, they feel the emotional climate inside the care. That is one of the quietest truths in parenting. A bottle can be given with warmth or with absence. A diaper can be changed gently or mechanically. A baby can be dressed, cleaned, carried, and put to bed while still feeling less deeply held if the moment keeps arriving flat, rushed, or burdened. Healthy Children notes that babies learn who comforts them, feeds them, and helps them feel safe, and that babies show caregivers how they like to be treated, talked to, held, and comforted. No's guidance on bonding says that talking, singing, eye contact, touch, cuddling, and warm responses help build a close relationship and support healthy development. That is why this matters so much. To an adult, the task may look completed either way. To a baby, the feeling may be completely different. Because babies study face, tone, pace, and touch long before they understand language, a feeding can feel intimate or emotionally absent. Bedtime can feel like relationship or like process. Even an ordinary pickup can say, "I'm here," or "I'm just moving you along." Healthy Children also notes that observing your baby closely helps you learn the signals that communicate comfort, satisfaction, or distress, because those signals are already meaningful in everyday care. So yes, care matters, but how care feels matters too. Thing 3. When you are there physically, but emotionally elsewhere. A baby can feel the difference between being held by your body and being met by your attention. That is what makes this one so modern and so easy to miss. You are feeding the baby, but your eyes are on your phone. You are rocking them, but your face is flat and your mind is somewhere else. You are in the room, doing the task, technically present, but emotionally, the baby keeps reaching into a kind of distance. And babies feel that distance more than many adults realize. NHS guidance emphasizes eye contact, talking, singing, and warm responses as part of building a close relationship and healthy brain connections. Harvard's Serve and Return framework makes the deeper point. Focused, responsive, back-and-forth interaction helps build the neural connections that support emotional security, communication, and social development. This does not mean one glance at your phone damages trust. That is not the point. The point is repeated emotional absence inside moments that are supposed to feel relational. Because babies are not only asking for proximity. Very often, they are asking for connection. They may keep fussing, staring, vocalizing, or reaching, not because they need more handling, but because they are still trying to find you inside the care. Harvard notes that serve and return depends on responsive back and forth with a caring adult, and the NHS emphasizes that warm, everyday responses help create closeness. That is why this matters so much. A baby can feel the difference between being near you and having you. Thing 4. When their need for comfort starts feeling like too much. Your baby is learning not only whether comfort comes, but what their need seems to cost the room. That is one of the deepest emotional lessons in early life, because comfort can be technically provided and still feel hard to rest inside. You pick them up, but with tension. You soothe them, but with exasperation in your voice. You reassure them, but the tone says, "Again?" You hold them, but the atmosphere says their need has become emotionally expensive. Babies do not read your beliefs about independence. They read the room. UNICEF is unusually clear on this. Babies cannot be spoiled by too much love or attention, and responding to their cues for feeding and comfort helps them feel secure. Healthy Children makes the same point for parents in practical terms, calling it a myth that babies are spoiled by too much loving attention, and explaining that prompt, loving responses build trust and a sense of security. That is why this pattern matters so much. When need keeps meeting irritation, sighing, resentment, or emotional heaviness, the baby may not stop needing comfort. They may simply stop relaxing inside it. But when comfort arrives with softness, without making closeness feel shameful or costly, the baby learns something entirely different. My need does not make love disappear. UNICEF says loving responses help babies feel at ease, and responsive comfort helps them feel secure. Thing 5. When leaving and coming back feel hard to trust. One of the deepest things your baby is learning every day is whether love disappears suddenly or knows how to return. That lesson gets written into ordinary transitions, when you sneak away, when goodbye changes every day, when exits are big, emotional, and hard to read. when return feels inconsistent, when "I'll be right back" stops meaning much because the pattern around leaving is unpredictable. Healthy Children advises against sneaking away because it can increase clinginess and anxiety. It recommends quick goodbye rituals, consistency, and returning when you say you will. The same guidance says ongoing consistency and diligence to return are key, especially during normal phases of separation anxiety. 0 to 3 also emphasizes that routines comfort babies, provide a sense of safety, and reassure them that their needs will be met. Babies do not need long explanations. They need readable departure and reliable return. That is what builds trust. Not perfect ease, not 0 tears, but a pattern the baby's body can learn. You leave in a way I can understand, and you come back in a way I can believe. Healthy Children notes that loving, consistent approaches help children through separation anxiety, and that quick, predictable goodbyes matter. So, when leaving and returning start feeling emotionally confusing, the relationship can quietly become harder to rest inside. But when departure is readable and return is reliable, the opposite happens. The baby begins to trust the space between you. So, a baby who feels safe with you is not a baby whose parent never gets stressed, never gets distracted, and never gets anything wrong. It is a baby who lives inside enough repeated experiences of warmth, responsiveness, calm, welcome, and trustworthy return that the relationship still feels like somewhere they can rest. Across Harvard, UNICEF, 0 to 3, Healthy Children, and NHS guidance, the larger message stays remarkably consistent. Repeated, responsive, loving interactions help babies feel secure and support healthy emotional, social, and brain development over time. So this is not about avoiding all 5 perfectly. It is about noticing the patterns, because small changes matter when small moments repeat. Your baby does not need perfection to feel safe with you. They need enough repeated moments that keep teaching the same truth. You make sense, and you come back.